What's going on, YouTube? This is your boy Mike, and as promised, this is the first part of my three-part tribute to the Dawn of Justice. My Batman is based off Adam West, my Wonder Woman is based off Linda Carter, and my Superman is based off of Christopher Reeves. Before we get started, please forgive me because I've already colored in Batman's flesh tones. My camera wasn't recording. So if you need to review flesh tones, just look at my background coloring video. So without further ado, let's get started. The blues I'll be using for this piece are my Copic B21 and B24. Alright, so I start off by using my B21 to help add some touch-up shadows underneath the nose and lip. Then I use my B21 as the base color for the top of the cowl, and I start trying to just play around and figure out what the shadow's going to be. You know, I'm using like a rim lighting effect around the top of the head. Next, I use my B21 for the base color of my cape, and then I come back with my B24 and start blending the colors together back and forth, just trying to make sure the shadows look consistent. Next, I grab my Copic C1 and C5. My C1 is going to be our initial base color. Now I'm going around the contours of the body, trying to make sure that I can keep that consistent light source from the outside for the rim lighting. I'm trying to keep in mind where the peaks of the muscles are, because that's where the spaces need to be left for highlights. Now I'm grabbing my C5 and going in and adding in the shadowy areas, the darker areas. You know, trying to remember to keep in mind of the light source and the contours of the muscle, as always. A lot of my coloring might not be entirely correct, but as long as it's aesthetically pleasing, you can get away with some things. Just like the blue shadows I'm adding now. That's more of a stylistic choice, just because I like the effect it's going to make once I blend it in with my C1, as you can see as I'm doing right now. Now as I move to the legs, I'm thinking about the three faces of the quads, and I'm going around and thinking about the shadows. I normally render in a minimalistic type of style, so a lot of places I can add black ink, I don't, because I figure I'm going to color it later anyway. So right now I'm going through and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I got to color this back leg completely dark because it's sitting back farther than everything else and it's covered by the cape. And just like the inside of the thigh there, it has a sort of a dip. So I put color that part in also so it can look more consistent. Like, now that I've pasted my initial colors all over the body, now I'm going back and adding contrast with my C5. Contrast creates interest. So my initial base colors are pretty light, so I'll go back and I try to put darker colors in the shadows and stuff to make it, look a little bit more consistent and more realistic. Now I'm going back with my initial base color blue and adding in the shadows and stuff to the cape area, all the dark spots, the black spots. My cape doesn't all the way go consistently with my initial light source, but I figure I can go back and fix that anyway later on with my whiteout pen and the blue ink. That's not a big issue. Besides, the way light reflects off a cape like that or whatever leather this cowl is, it bounces all over the place, off ground, lighting, everything. So, you can get away with a lot with that. And now I'm going back and just adding even more contrast to the legs, to the chest, and everything. Just touching up anything that I think might be interesting. Like I said before, it's not exact science, but it is. Now I'm about to use my Y21 to go in and color my belt and then my bat symbol. I'm leaving little spaces here and there, trying to make sure that it has some light reflectiveness because, some type of metal material. And I go back with the blue, my base color blue, and I added some darker areas, which I probably could have chose a better choice because it came out green, but yeah, it works. Then I came back with my Jelly Roll pen, and I added some more highlights to certain places, which I had to go back and fix the nose because I messed it up with my Jelly Roll pen. So this is essentially my coloring process for Batman. There's a couple of things I still need to touch up. I might do another video to show those things, fixing some consistent light source, add some highlights here and there, and whatever. And so this is the first part of my three-part video series. I think I'm going to go ahead and add a watercolor background to this for Batman and to the other characters. So if y'all would like to see that part too, I can add that too. If not, I'm just going to do it behind the scenes. So as always, I'm open for other video suggestions and how ways I can improve my process. And if not, I'll see y'all next week for the next portion of coloring. I think I'll go ahead and do Wonder Woman next. All right, peace.